How's it going, everyone? Austin Honecker here. I just wanted to come on here for a while and give him a review for All Elite Wrestling's AEW Dark from last night, which was December 14th, 2021. I gotta say, it was awesome from start to finish. For the matches, match 1, it was Chris Statlander versus Marina Shafir. That was a great match, but the ending to it, Chris Statlander went over with the Spider Crab. Match 2, it was Nick Comoroto versus Dean Fleming. That was a squash match, but the ending to it, Nick Comoroto went over with the water wheel drop. Match 3, it was Riho and Ryo Mizunami versus Emi Sakura and Mei Saruga. That was a great match, but the ending to it, Riho and Ryo Mizunami went over because Riho pinned Mei Saruga with the Samato. Well, before the match, Emi Sakura and Mei Saruga attacked Riho and Ryo Mizunami and beat the shit out of them. Then Riho and Ryo Mizunami gained offense back, and a brawl ensued between Riho and Ryo Mizunami against Emi Sakura and Mei Saruga. And they started beating the shit out of each other. That was cool. Match 4, it was Jade Cargill versus Valentina Rossi. That was a squash match, but the ending to it, Jade Cargill went over with the Jaded. Match 5, it was Angelico versus Invictus Cash. That was a great match, but the ending to it, Angelico went over with the Navarro Death Roll. Match 6, it was Ty Conte versus Heather Monroe. That was a great match, but the ending to it, Ty Conte went over with the DDT. Match 7, it was the Nightmare Family, which are Lee Johnson and Brock Anderson versus Tony Donati and Fabu Andre. That was a squash match, but the ending to it, the Nightmare Family went over because Brock Anderson pinned Tony Donati with the Gourd Buster. After the match, Tony Schiavone interviewed the Nightmare Family, which are Lee Johnson, Arn Anderson, and Brock Anderson. Well, Tony Schiavone asked Arn Anderson, Tony Schiavone was talking to Arn Anderson about how he must be proud of the Nightmare Family and everything, and then Arn Anderson said, "Yes, Tony, I am proud, but the last time I had one of these in my hand, I got in trouble. So Lee Johnson, take it away." Lee Johnson said to Tony Schiavone, Lee Johnson said, "Tony, I'm very proud and thankful that I have Arn Anderson and Brock Anderson as my teammates. Brock Anderson, take it away." And Tony Schiavone was bringing up to Brock Anderson about being a second-generation wrestler, and before Brock Anderson got the chance to talk, the Gunn Club, which are Austin and Colton Gunn, came out. Austin Gunn had the microphone and said, "Hold on just a minute, Tony." Austin Gunn said, "Hold on just a minute, Tony." And then Austin Gunn said, "Tony, did you just say second-generation wrestler? Hold up. Brock Anderson, the only reason you're even in this business is because your daddy Arn Anderson got you here. And I know you're a second-generation wrestler, Brock, but so are we. So how about we team up? How about Colton and I here team up and face off against Lee Johnson and Brock Anderson, which is you two, and your team of Broccoli?" And Austin Gunn said to Colton Gunn, he said, "Colton, take it away." Colton Gunn got the microphone and said, "As stupid as that sounds, it is." Well, the Gunn Club, which are Austin and Colton Gunn, ended up leaving and going backstage, and the Nightmare family, which are Arn Anderson, Lee Johnson, and Brock Anderson, stood in the ring along with Tony Schiavone and everything. That was cool. That was after the match, by the way. Match 8, it was Chuck Taylor versus Ryan Nemeth. That was a great match, but the ending to it, Chuck Taylor went over with a small package. Well, after the match, Peter Avalon and Cesar Bononi got in the ring and started beating the shit out of Chuck Taylor, and Ryan Nemeth joined in, and then and helping and assisting Peter Avalon and Cesar Bononi to beating the shit out of Chuck Taylor. And well, Wheeler Yuta came into Chuck Taylor's aid and was fighting off Ryan Nemeth, but Peter Avalon and Cesar Bononi ganged up on Wheeler Yuta and started beating the shit out of him. So the wingmen, which are Ryan Nemeth, Peter Avalon, and Cesar Bononi, were beating the shit out of Chuck Taylor and Wheeler Yuta. And as that was going on, Orange Cassidy came out, and Ryan Nemeth and as Orange Cassidy came out to the ring, Ryan Nemeth retreated, and Peter Avalon and Cesar Bononi were still in the ring, but Peter Avalon and Cesar Bononi retreated as well. Well, after that, after the wingmen retreated and left to go backstage, Chris Statlander came out, and the best friends, which are Chuck Taylor, Orange Cassidy, Wheeler Yuta, and Chris Statlander, embraced with the best friend hug and everything. That was cool. Match 9. That was match 8, by the way. Match 9, it was Shawn Spears versus Josh Woods. That was a great match, but the ending to it, Shawn Spears went over with the C4. Match 10, it was Nyla Rose versus Zeta Zhang. That was a squash match, but the ending to it, Nyla Rose went over with the Beast Bomb. Match 11, it was Arjun Singh versus Tony... Wait a minute. Match 11, it was Arjun Singh versus Tony Vincita. That was a great match, but the ending to it, Arjun Singh went over with the Fireman's Carry knee strike, and that was match 11, by the way. And match 12, which was the main event, it was Daniel Garcia and 2.0, which are Matt Lee and Jeff Parker, versus the Dark Order, which are Evil Uno, Alex Reynolds, and Colt Cabana. That was a great match, but the ending to it, 2.0 and Daniel Garcia went over cause Matt Lee pinned Colt Cabana with the 2 for the show from Matt Lee and Jeff Parker. Now, besides the matches, Ryan Nemeth cut a promo talking about how Chuck Taylor is a phenomenal wrestler, but at the same time, he's riding Orange Cassidy's coattails and everything. And Ryan Nemeth also said about Chuck Taylor, said Chuck Taylor may be a hunk, but he's not a Hollywood hunk and everything. That was cool. Sonny Kiss cut a promo talking about how he beat Joey Janela a few months ago on AEW Dark, and Sonny Kiss talked about how he wanted to fight Joey Janela in a no disqualification, no rules match in a couple weeks on AEW Dark and everything. That was cool. And Joey Janela, along with Kayla Rossi, cut a promo, and Joey Janela was talking about since the night Sonny Kiss beat him on AEW Dark, he's been in a deep depression and has been sleeping throughout the night and waking up throughout the night. And Joey Janela was saying, in 2 weeks, Sonny Kiss, me and you, in a no disqualification, no rules match on AEW Dark. And Joey Janela was talking about how he was going to destroy Sonny Kiss and everything. And, well, Joey Janela was talking about how he was going to destroy Sonny Kiss and everything. That was cool. Now, besides all that, Taz and Excalibur done commentary throughout the whole show. They done awesome as usual. The referees for the event were Mike Posey, Rick Knox, Paul Turner, Bryce Remsburg, and Aubrey Edwards. Okay. Aubrey Edwards refereed the match between Chris Statlander versus Marina Shafir. Mike Posey refereed the match between Nick Camarado versus Dean Fleming. Aubrey Edwards refereed the match between Riho and Ryo Mizunami versus Emi Sakura and Mei Saruga. Paul Turner refereed the match between Jade Cargill versus Valentina Rossi. Rick Knox refereed the match between Angelico versus Invictus Cash. Aubrey Edwards refereed the match between Ty Conte versus Heather Monroe. Paul Turner refereed the match between the Nightmare Family versus Tony Donati and Fabu Andre. Rick Knox refereed the match between Chuck Taylor versus Ryan Nemeth. Paul Turner refereed the match between Sean Spears versus Josh Woods. Aubrey Edwards refereed the match between Nyla Rose versus Zeta Zhang. Aubrey Edwards refereed the match between Arjun Singh versus Tony Vincita. And 2.0 and Paul Turner refereed the match between 2.0 and Daniel Garcia versus the Dark Order. All the referees done awesome as usual. Now, the match card that's been announced for All Elite Wrestling's AEW Dynamite's special event, Winter is Coming. The match card that's been announced for it so far, it's going to be Hangman Page versus Bryan Danielson for the AEW title. MJF versus Dante Martin for the Dynamite Diamond Ring. Matt Sydal versus Wardlow. And Serena Deeb versus Hikaru Shida. Those are the matches that have been announced so far. So now, the match card for All Elite Wrestling's AEW Dynamite special event, Winter is Coming. Looks like it's going to be awesome. I can't wait to see it. I'm looking forward to it. But anyway, I just wanted to come on here for a while and give them a review for All Elite Wrestling's AEW Dark from last night, which was December 14th, 2021. Like I said, it was awesome from start to finish. And with that being said, my name is Austin Honecker, and I will catch your ass down the road. Peace out.